I'm part of this My Five family. Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing? I hope everybody had an exciting weekend.
What up? What up? What up? What is going
Excuse me.
on? Happy,
Carbon Q,
hey, Carbonin,
Shanna,
Shanana, Shanana, Shana,
Jason. I know Jason ain't far. Hi, Too
Shanana,
Rich.
Shanana,
I sent
Shanana,
Shanna some songs.
Shana.
I sent her slow motion for
Oh,
Jason to play for me.
yeah, that's his flow.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
Definitely. Too rich.
Vanessa.
What's going on? What's up, Vanessa? What's going on, young ladies? Good to see you. Happy Memorial Day to everybody out there.
Yes.
I hope y'all had a safe, I don't want to say quiet, safe. Let's leave it at that. Hope
Yeah,
y'all had a
let's say safe
safe
one.
Memorial Day. I hope everybody had the opportunity to take time out and reflect on
Mm.
what Memorial Day really is about.
I forgot to text my uncles.
Oh,
Yeah,
Big
how
Riz,
dare
what's
I?
going on? Willie, what it is there,
Hey,
soul
Willie,
brother?
sir.
What's popping? What's popping? So listen, I know we winding down after a long weekend for most of us.
Mm-hmm.
Couple hamburgers, couple beers, some hot dogs, all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's 8 o'clock. Y'all gotta go to work
Y'all gonna
tomorrow.
be dragging your feet.
Family, fam. What up there, young
Hey,
fella?
White Side.
White side. Throw your dubs up. White side. What?
I
Represent my white side.
I know. I can't be there with you. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Hey, $2. But yeah,
OG
I want to
triple
just
double.
thank everybody that served. Shanna, Jason, and everybody else that served. We greatly appreciate you guys.
True that, man. Everybody that passed away serving, shout out to y'all. Happy
Right.
Memorial Day. Definitely, definitely. But hey, man, we made it through. It's Monday. Success.
Guys, ooh, my throat just cracked.
You sound like you sound like a handsome young lady just now. Guys, you smoking cigarettes, Erica? Guys, so about my weekend. Sound like Cookie Monster. About my weekend. Jason, what up, twin?
You know what, Billy?
What
Don't
it
do
is?
that.
What it do be?
I should get my drink.
No, you drank
I
already.
got some salted caramel whiskey. It's good, guys. It's good. It's really good. 2 a.m. What was I gonna say before I messed myself up?
Erica said, "Your foreplay just blows my mind. Why don't we stop wasting time?" Damn. Go ahead. What'd you say?
Oh, so guys, I must by mistake had Billy sleeping in the tent again. Hey, something by Sophia Saturday night. Well,
Yo, all right. So listen. Y'all know she like to camp out and shit, right? Y'all know I ain't for the bullshit. Sit my ass in his house that I pay for and mortgage and all that shit. Danica, what's up, young girl? She get it out. I'm chill outside with her. It's cool. I got out of work on Friday. I'm gonna chill outside, listen to music, and just like you know, sit back and relax or whatever. She start going to the store, get some sodas for the cooler, and I'm starting to be like, nah, maybe she's just trying to make it comfortable for me to chill out in the backyard with her and all that. She she got some a blanket just in case you get chilly. Now you fucking
it was
around. Now
it
you
was
fucking
so
around.
nice.
Now
The
you fucking
wind
around.
was
Who
right. There was no
who
bugs.
need a pillow just to chill out in the backyard? No, I know what she's working toward. Now she's trying to get me to sleep out in the motherfucking yard and shit again. Before you know it, she, let's watch a movie. Let's go lay on the thing. Saturday morning happened. Just what the
No, it
fuck?
was Sunday. We camped out
Friday
Saturday.
night. Friday night.
You sure?
It
No.
sure was.
No. Not
Yeah,
how
yeah,
you
yeah.
know how I know you
How you know? How
lying?
you know?
Because you got into the live Saturday when you said you wasn't feeling well. And then Zach was text you and was like, yo, where you at? And then
On
I said,
Saturday?
that was Friday.
You just said
Donation.
Saturday.
No, we camped out on Friday night, a Saturday night.
I quit, man. I quit.
We camped out Saturday night. Either way.
Lawrence Lilly, what it is? What's going on, brother?
I
Howard J.
even was like, Bill, let's take down the tent. Nah, just leave it up. You may want to hang out here again.
Somebody save me.
I said, okay.
Okay.
But guys, it was scary though, because the wind was crazy and the tent lifted up a little bit.
Big Zach, what up, man? I was about to fly all the way to Ohio, man. This tent start lifting up and shit while you in it. Trees was blowing. Fuck, man.
I was like, it's okay. It's okay. You just got to go through the storm sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I was about to be in Secret Garden. Sorry, y'all.
Bill, you know Barry likes the Secret
Garden. I had my share of lovers. Corey, what up?
I don't know why my voice did that.
Some say I'm damn good. But if you think I'm gonna sing it, Barry, come on, let the people know.
Don't start your shit today.
Cause
we already on here for 7 minutes.
You just keep. So we had a good weekend, man. We oh Jesus. So we had a good weekend. It was cool, man. We went to the range one of them damn days.
We went to the range Friday.
Mm-hmm. Friday. We went to the range. For anybody who does not, let me see. For anybody who's unaware.
No, they're aware because of that damn video you put out of me.
What? Shout out to Erica and the Air Racker, the Salt Shaker. Yo, we air rack. She got this new shit called the Salt Shaker. Shout out to everybody who made this happen for real from the heart, man. Shout out to y'all.
Yes, we appreciate it.
100%.
And he loves it.
Yeah.
He loves it.
He cried. If anybody didn't catch Erica's live on last Wednesday,
he cried.
Cried like a baby bitch.
Don't say that about my son.
I'm just saying he cried like soft SOFT.
Billy would have said no place like home.
That's what I was clicking my heels. I was about to click these keys to the front door. Get me gone.
Billy Santos.
Oh shit. Who said that?
Monique.
Damn it. Canadian Mo. That's her name. Canadian Mo. But yeah, man, we had a good time. The platypus, you know how my flat family gets down. We gotta put our little.
I'm gonna get there, guys. I'm gonna get there with the air racking. Trust me when I say. I'm gonna get there.
Anybody see that video? Anybody see that video with Erica air racking? Let me know in the comments. Let me know. Canadian Mo in the house. There she go, bang.
Jason, how many times did Shanna unpack your bag, though?
Man.
Like, is it like every weekend you start packing and she starts unpacking? Jason is like, I'm ready. I'm ready to hit the road.
Let's go now. Charles Henry, what up? Yeah, yo, we got literally for some people, it's 2 weeks.
I know.
Yeah. Wow.
I know.
Wow. I remember when it was 6 months. You know what I mean? Shit.
Hey, Arvell.
There it is. Just give it up.
No, Zach. No.
That's it.
Sophia, I'm on a mission.
Sophia, and anybody who hasn't seen the platypus air rack range video,
don't watch the end.
Go watch it. Fast forward. Everything that is me and Alex, fast forward past that shit.
Don't watch it.
It's the same old shit, believe me. But there's gonna be a point at about, I don't know, 3 minutes or so. From there on, watch it, popcorn, maybe a drink, laugh your ass off.
No.
That's it.
Hey, Virginia.
Virginia Bushcrafter, what it is. Mel, what the word be? But yeah, man, that shit it's funny. It's entertaining. I swear.
It's horrible.
I swear. But she did good, man. She did. It was funny. It was funny.
Zach just dropped the Zach.
Dig him, boy.
Zach. I thought Zach, I'm going to give you a call after this.
Uh-oh, trouble.
Do not answer.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you. Y'all hit that like button. Smash it,
I feel
crash
like
it.
I have to compete with you to get in this damn screen.
Sorry.
Charles, I am. I'm gonna keep trying, Charles. Thank you for the encouragement.
That,
Unlike Zach.
that was so sweet. Keep trying.
Um,
Fight the good fight. Yeah. Keep on trying. Yeah, man. But hey, listen, aside from that,
2A in LA, there's too many laughing emojis.
oh shit.
Way
That's for how
too
many
many.
each of them laughing emojis for how many times you tried.
He probably fast rewinded and then played it, rewinded and played it.
Boy, the salt shaker one had me, boy. She's it.
You know, you know what? But I tried.
Oh shit.
But I tried.
Oh man.
Okay.
You the boss. Hey, listen.
Thank you, Virginia.
While we're on that, let me try to pay the bills real quick and remind everybody that June 16th and 17th, we are going to have an amazing time down here in South Georgia in Thomasville at a regular meetup 3 or arm 3, what we like to call it, where we're going to start off by having a dope meet and greet. We're probably going to have 2 meet and greets, but Thursday night, we're going to be there hanging and meeting and greeting and celebrating Alex's birthday. Friday night, we're going to be at the official meet and greet. Friday morning is the women's conference held by NAGA. Then Saturday morning, we'll be at the range, tearing shit up, having a good time in a safe way. And then after that, we're going to be, actually, we're going to have some food served there, lunch and all that. And then we're going to go
at the range?
At the range.
Oh.
And then when we get done with the range, we're going to go chill out, kick back, have some food again, if you're hungry still, and get ourselves spiffy
and that's at the hotel.
At the hotel.
Okay.
And get ourselves nice and pretty for the sneaker ball, where it's business up top and party down low.
What?
You know what I'm talking about. Enjoy yourself at the RGAs, where you get to enjoy the coolest, best content creators that you guys chose this year to receive their accolades and awards and flowers. And immediately after that, shit is going to go really crazy, because we are going to watch Twista tear down the house and perform legendary hip hop artists in the building. And then we're going to party on to the break of dawn.
So
to the break of dawn.
I need to be lazy for the next 2 weeks, is what you're
saying.
Fuck
you mean?
I need to be on bed rest for the next 2 weeks. If we partying that hard,
I'm
saying I gotta hibernate.
I gotta make sure I don't have no bags underneath my eyes and stuff like that.
Fat Guy with Guns, you right as heck. Dolo Blues actually be hitting the stage prior to Twista, tearing it up. If you don't know the brother, y'all got to go download some of his music, because it is melodic, is dope, my type of hype. Y'all check out Dolo Blues. And it's gonna be, and it might be some other celebrities popping up from what we hear. Just a maybe.
Are you gonna perform?
I was thinking about performing, but that's gonna be a private show. Find me a pole, baby. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Sorry. My bad. Either way, that all out the way. On a I don't want to say positive note, but on the topic itself, it ain't easy being a content creator, and it's definitely not easy doing lives and continuously trying to give conversation that hasn't been had already, because a lot of them is just a revolving door. But something I had watched recently made me say, I think we need to talk about this today. Okay. And I watched a young lady call the police on her significant other in a home, act like she was being beaten and whooped, and even claimed that the young man had a gun while he videotaped himself just to secure himself and keep evidence, and was nowhere near the young lady. And she was on the phone with a police officer or their call center. And it was vicious. It was malicious. And it sucked to see it. I don't know the fella, but I know people have been through that.
Right.
where it's you don't realize the risk now when police show up of you just being there. You know, it's a dangerous experience just to be there when the police show up because no fault to them, but they're responding to a specific call.
Mhm.
And if you don't know or understand what's been said about you on that call, you never know how to approach the police officer or how they're going to approach you when you're there. And it's dangerous. It's super, super dangerous.
I agree.
So, so I thought, dealing with domestic violence issues, um, it's not a playful thing, and people often get involved in, especially with family members and children and parents. Even you get involved in shit that you might want to keep out of, if that makes any sense. um
But it's hard. It's easy and it's hard. It's easy and it's hard. The first time it happens, most people want to respond to it, you know.
mhm.
But after, your third and fourth time, people see women that don't want to leave. It's just that's their everyday life. That's, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, and
It's
it's hard to
definitely
know
hard.
where the right and the wrong or the time that the cry wolf time is going to be serious. Sooner or later that wolf is going to show up.
Right.
Jag, what up? What's popping?
But that's the same thing for men, though. It's not just women that are in abusive relationships. There are men that are in abusive relationships to where they stay because they don't want to move back home, or
Mhm.
or they just feel like she does so much, just because she has a bad temper, it's okay, he can, man up and deal with it, you
Yeah,
know.
well, it's difficult for all involved, and everybody's story is going to be different. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Um, but sometimes, so what I'm getting at is when you have these relationships moving around left and right like that, sometimes it spills out into the public.
I
Sometimes it
agree.
spills out into the streets. So the base or the deeper side of this conversation, Siege, what's up? How are you? So what part of this spills out into our lives is a lot of us are in the firearms world. And it's a dangerous place for a lot of people who are, bystanders of this or byproducts of this to get involved, because a lot of us feel like if we do see something, we would want to get involved.
Right.
That's where it gets tricky. How involved do you get, and when do you pick and choose? There was a case probably around a year ago where a young lady got into it with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend had a firearm, but they would just, push and shove argument. And a bystander got involved and wrestled the boyfriend to the ground. Um, but he didn't stop there. He wrestled the boyfriend to the ground and then proceeded to seemingly take the boyfriend's life. So the girlfriend that was being assaulted in the beginning got the gun from her boyfriend and shot the young man who intervened. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar.
Mm-hmm.
I've had various conversations about that, trying to figure out if that was a justifiable thing for the young lady to do
No,
or not.
it's not.
So that's a tough thing. You fall under the guarded, you know, protected situation, and then you become the protector. Now, argue with me.
I
Why
am.
why why was she wrong?
She's wrong because she's in a situation to where no man should put his hands on a woman, correct?
Patrick, what up?
But the problem was she wanted that smoke with her boyfriend because that's probably what they do on a regular basis, and it was out in public to where somebody else was defending her.
Mm-hmm.
She could have easily tried to stop or just be like, just leave it alone. We're just, whatever, but she let it get that far. And then she proceeded to shoot somebody that was protecting her. She was in the wrong all the way. They shouldn't have been arguing in public like that anyway, because somebody is 9 out of 10 is going to stop it.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that. So it's a tough opinion because I don't have a flat opinion either. But there was another part of that scenario that was taking place to where the savior, let's call him the rescuer or the savior,
Mm-hmm.
became the aggressor. He
That's
didn't
happening.
just break it up. He was out for blood on the boyfriend.
But again, that could be a trigger for some people. Some guys
Yeah.
cannot see a woman getting beat up because he was in that situation where he watched his mother, he watched his grandmother, his sister, and it's a trigger for most men.
Yeah, yeah. It's a tough one, man. And I don't want to bring up that as the only argument, but understanding the type of risk that you take when you do try to involve yourself. I don't want to call it in other people's personal lives because you could save somebody at any given time. And more than often, you save somebody. But fuck, man, nowadays you just don't want to get involved because that might be your last day on this planet. Ray, what's going on? James Wells, what's popping? Biggs, wow.
Excuse me.
Um. So yeah, man. Where's the point that where you walk the fuck away, even if a young lady or a young man is being abused right in your face, and you have the means to protect that person, at de-escalate, um, and kind of secure. You never know. That might be your ass,
You right, but
or it
that's
might be a
why you
lawsuit.
have to. I know, some of us don't want to call police, and we rather feel like we could try to just
Diffuse it.
yeah, diffuse it in a situation. But I think just being on the phone with 911 and just standing there and just making sure it doesn't get too far,
Hmm.
I think that's the best route to go.
So yeah, so all right, so I'm seeing, for the most part, don't be a hero. That's the vibes. Um, Now, this is the shitty part. So don't be a hero. Don't get involved or lightly get involved because here's the funny part.
There's no
Nowadays,
lightly though.
not there is a lightly. Nowadays, a lot of people pull out their cell phone when they see some domestic shit going down.
Right.
They pull out their cell phone. This girl could be getting the shit beat out of her. This guy could be getting the shit kicked out of him. Somebody will pull out a cell phone. They won't get involved, but they'll pull out a cell phone. I don't know if that's the smart thing to do or the cowardly thing to do. You could look at it in a million ways.
Hmm.
But that does exist, and that's like the common, I don't know, response nowadays. I feel.
I agree with you. I think most people want to put everything out there, and um, you know, whatever. But if you're gonna use it as evidence, then go ahead. Don't post somebody else's drama for your personal use. That's what I'm against.
Yeah, yeah. See that? If evidence is needed, some people win lawsuits from those cell phone videos. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Some,
but
but
that's what I'm
but
saying.
but I've seen cell phone videos where that person being aggressed died in that video. When somebody standing around could
Yeah.
have done something, and that person is dead, gone, never come back. So that's the shit that we gotta balance out and weigh out, um, in our decisions, our ins and out. Um, it's fucked up. You can't get involved like back in the days. You could get involved, and the dude to stop. Hey man, cut that shit out. Maybe you get a little tussle, something like that, and it's done. Now, shit.
Nobody wants to be a sore loser no more.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, nobody wants to be a sore loser. Nobody wants to be posted on any platforms looking like they got beat up or anything like that. It's different because now everybody can see it rather than it just staying there. Where, like you said, back then we just used to fight it out and it be done and over with. Then it's a talk around town. But now millions of people could see it because it's online.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know if I want my shit online like that or to be saved. If now here's the thing, it's not always a what do you call that? A couple's quarrel or a male and a female. It could be two females fighting, two guys fighting.
Right.
It could be shit like that. You see that all the time at the gas station. A lot of us be like, "Yo, watch this shit. Watch this shit. Oh, it's about to get crazy."
Right.
We'll be entertained. I'm not gonna front. I've seen some fights in my day and left that shit be. You know what I'm saying? And be not cheering it on, be like, "Oh shit." Everything ain't kumbaya. Everything ain't peace all the time. But there is certain situations that you got to really just keep an eye on and say, wow, you don't want to walk away from that and not have done nothing and then hear the next day that somebody passed away. You know what I'm saying?
See, Patrick Irie, that's a situation where you just leave it alone. That right there, because she's accustomed to that. It's just that's part of her everyday life. And some women can't get out of that situation. Well, they go to the courts, they plead for help, they do everything to get out of a situation, and that guy just keeps coming back. And some men got that sweet game. They took that good game and they let you rock out. Or shit, you can again with them. So,
Zach, what up?
What's up, man?
Hey, man. Good morning.
Good morning.
Zach was napping that.
What?
See, Smooth, what's popping?
Yeah, I haven't been feeling too good today, so I might be a little high, just so y'all know.
That's all right.
I'm high. I ain't even feeling good.
Yeah, man. So all right, now I'm gonna give you this only because we talk about these types of scenarios and even that specific one I was speaking on before. Domestic dispute right in front of you in Walmart. Some pushing, some shoving, serious enough. What's your first move?
If I don't think that person is in imminent danger of being killed or something, because of oh God, I'm gonna preface this a certain way. Because I'm not with that whole thing about a man should never hit a woman. I think that's bullshit. Because I think if a woman is hitting a man to a certain point, he needs to stop her. He may not have to beat her down to the ground, but he needs to stop her from doing it. So I'll say that. I also believe that there is a certain way that especially our young women are taught today that gives them a disadvantage. Because I don't care how strong you think you are. You're not stronger than that man, unless your man's a little puny punk. Science is on my side. So there are certain things, certain ways that shouldn't happen. Certain things that you shouldn't be doing. And I've had other women say this. You want to be treated like a lady, you want to be treated like a woman, but you want to come off like you're a man. Right. And that may sound harsh, but I think that is a reality. And I understand it being a reality because I have a son that I'm bringing up in this world who's going to run into these younger ladies who are being taught a whole different way than even our generation was taught. So he's got to move a certain type of way. Now, that's why I said, if I'm in a situation and I see a woman she's in just imminent danger and something is getting ready to happen and she bleeding or something, I got to do what I got to do. I can't just stand there and wait and let that happen. They may kill this person right in front of me. Especially, I have the ability to stop it.
Yeah.
Even if I don't know what happened, there's no reason for me to stand there and watch somebody lose their life.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it depends on the degree of what's going on because nobody really knows what's going on. Because what if she was beating the shit out of him 2 minutes ago and he was just trying to stop what was going on? He done got into something where she was the aggressor. And let me tell you something. A woman can kill you just as fast as a man can.
Yeah.
So I try to I try to get past all of that because there's always this, we're equal, we're this, we're that. Okay, you want to be equal? So that means you can take an equal ass whooping if you want to challenge me like you some man. Now, that's what I'm saying. It's a hard thing to say, but it's a truth. As a man, I shouldn't have to just stand there and let you just fuck me up just because I'm a man and you a woman. That's bullshit. Self-preservation is the first law. Take care of yourself. So if you fucking me up, she might have a gun in her back. She might go pull that gun out and pop me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't know. Every situation, you have to go based off of that situation. And you shouldn't put yourself into some sort of situation you don't really want to be in. That's why I say if I knew it was imminent and I saw a woman getting ready to get stabbed up, getting ready to get shot up or something, then I gotta do what I gotta do.
Right.
I ain't threatening nobody to it. I'm prefacing my thought process on this whole thing because I believe it's way deeper than just you see a man beating up a woman. They try to put it down to just that. You see a man, he beating a woman, man, he's supposed to hit a woman. You don't know what happened with that situation. You don't know if he's trying to stop her from fucking him up. You don't know that.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's just the situations are different. It just is. It depends on what's going on in the situation. I wouldn't want nobody beating up my daughter, beating up my mother, none of that. I wouldn't want that to happen.
Right.
True.
I need to judge the situation that's in front of me. Like that young man got killed. He may have went overboard or whatever, but the thing in her head, I just thought would have been, listen, he was trying to help me. He wasn't trying to kill me. He was trying to help me. So what it makes you want to do is just not get involved at all. My father told me one time where his sister was getting beat up by her husband, and he went to help, and she got mad at him.
Mm-hmm.
It's very complicated, man. It's very complicated.
100%. Real deal.
What's up?
You pushing your cart through Walmart, got you some fresh flannel plaid shirt.
Ooh, I like good flannel.
Some rubber boots. Right in front of you, man. Right in front of you. Guy and a girl get into it. Woman is smacking the guy all up in the head, man. Smacking the shit out of him, calling him all kinds of names in front of people, and he's just bowing down and cowering. How do you get involved? Or do you get involved?
I walk by and say, get some nuts, and I just keep going.
That's it.
Yeah, but you want to know something? That right there, that's the double standard.
Yeah,
it is.
But you know what?
If he was fucking up, you'd be more inclined.
No, because I've been around too long. I know when a man beats up on a woman, she's always gonna go back to that man until she's ready to leave him. Until she's ready to leave him, if you jump it, if a man's beating up a woman, she could be screaming bloody murder. As soon as you get involved, she's gonna turn on you because she loves that man.
That's what my father told me.
And so you guys stay out of it. And around here we have a lot of Native Americans. So if I see Native Americans doing it, I stay out of it because they may be a part of the Slapaho tribe. And so I stay out of that.
Let him in time out for that one.
Damn it, real deal. What's up? Welcome. I apologize. Damn. So
welcome in to those that we missed.
So there is it seems to be a double standard. Definitely. And the conversation often leads to the guy beating on the woman. And it's a reason for it, and it's because it's probably the more common situation that we've all been seen or
something. I don't know if I agree with that. I can remember being a teenager having girlfriends and they'll hold off and hit your ass in a minute because they think they can. I remember that. I remember watching that plenty of times. Guy and girlfriend just hold off and smack them because they think they can, because they think it's all right. Because you a man, so like you ain't got flesh and bone, and your shit don't hurt if you get smacked.
There's a famous interview with Barbara Walters and Sean Connery, and she says, "So Sean, I heard you like to smack women around," and he says, "I don't like to smack them around, but if they're gonna act like a man, then they're gonna get smacked."
Now,
so basically, what he was saying, if they're gonna hit me, I'm gonna hit them back.
And if you say
act like a man, I'm gonna treat you like a man.
And that in 2023, people look at you like you got 4 heads. Because it has become this thing that if you have any sort of masculinity or anything, or you're trying to stop someone, it's toxic masculinity. That's bullshit. Nobody wants you to be masculine until some shit get dirty or some shit get dangerous, and you want me to run out there and risk my life to clean some shit up or take care of some danger. Now, every woman ain't like that, but that is something that is pushed, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
And then equal rights.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing. You want you equal rights. That's fine. I'm off. That's fine. But there are certain things that you cannot do. There just are. There's certain things that I wouldn't expect you to do because I'm built a certain way. That's why we got so much testosterone running through us, so we can be wild and crazy and strong as hell. We're made that way. People can get upset about it if they want. But, and then I see what Steve said too, don't hit if you don't want to be hit. That's true, but no one says that. All you ever hear is, oh, man ain't never supposed to hit a woman. That's bullshit.
See, I was raised that if you hit a man and you keep beating on that man, he has every right to beat your ass back.
So let me go off the deep end. Change up the scenario. What if you see a child being whooped, like pass an ass whooping, like abused, hurt?
I'm stepping in.
You stepping in?
Yeah, there's a different dynamic to that relationship. Between that child.
The child
and
doesn't have a choice; it has to be there,
right.
And the child is the victim.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think you should. I think you should step in because he's being victimized. It's just a different dynamic there because you would think, oh well, the woman is being victimized too, but the dynamic between that woman and that man is different. Especially if they know each other, they've been intimate with each other, and they've been in a relationship for a while. That's why all that stuff comes into play. The child, no, you need to stop killing. You hurting that child. You need to stop. You need to get ass with it. Nobody is supposed to beat on a child that way. Under no circumstances, you're not supposed to be trying to hurt a child like that. You're not supposed to. There's no reason for it. Even if he hits you, it don't matter. You can stop him from hurting you.
Yeah.
Now a child.
And if you do that out in public, imagine what you're doing behind closed doors.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I tell you, man, little Zach he buck up and he want to be tough because he a big kid or whatever. Like, listen, man, you're gonna catch it in the chest. I tell you in a minute. I don't play that. But I understand those games because I was a son to a father who was a strong man, and those things and those ideas you get in your head as you start getting bigger and you start getting stronger. That's the reality of it. And that's those are the nuances of these type of situations that we never really get into. It's not cut and dry. It's not straightforward. It's not black and white.
Yeah, because even in situations where you would feel like you're doing the right thing, a child is being abused, literally abused in front of you, you get involved. Here's a wild part. This relates back to a lot of women who are getting abused. They don't want you involved because the ass whooping is 10 times worse when they get home. So if you don't prevent that child from going home with that parent 100%, sometimes sometimes that ass whooping is going to be way worse.
That's true.
But it's very nuanced, man. I mean, it really is. That situation is, I mean, it's hella, you don't know how really to respond to it. I mean, you gotta, that's why I said, if I see someone that they're in imminent danger, and I'm like, yo, this woman is bleeding and this guy's getting ready to kill her.
Yeah, I mean, like if he's standing on top of her, just drilling on her, I'm not going to let that happen.
That's different. I can make that stop. Now, hopefully, I don't have to shoot him. Hopefully, I'm big enough I can push him off. I'm like, hey, yo, chill. Maybe I'll bring him back to his senses. Because most guys who are real masculine guys, they ain't gonna just be beating on a woman for the hell of it.
Well,
guys who do that stuff for pussies, man. That's my opinion.
They're not masculine. Guys that whip on women, beat women, are not masculine. They're very shallow. They're very they don't know who they are in life. They are very insecure about everything. That's why they got to beat up on the woman to make themselves feel good.
Real deal. I just say they pussies. That's how that encompasses all of that. Because there's no reason for you to go on. If you know who you are as a man, it's like I heard something earlier about crying. Let me tell you something. I'm a grown man, and if I want to cry, I got a right to cry. It don't mean that I'm any less of a man. It don't mean that I'm a punk. It don't mean none of that. Come fuck with me if you think so, because I cried. A man who understands who he is and is confident in who he is may not know everything about himself, but he has a certain bit of confidence about him. He can cry, he can get upset, do whatever. It doesn't diminish him in any way. Because just because I'm a man doesn't mean I don't have feelings. It doesn't mean that I don't have sensitivities. And that's the thing that's the thing I don't teach. I won't teach my son that you don't have sensitivities. You do. Your mental health is important. Your feelings are important.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in a relationship, now I always tell them that the world don't give a fuck about your feelings because they don't. The world is a hard place and they just don't. They don't give a shit about your feelings. But if you decide to be with someone and you decide to be in a particular situation with somebody, that's different. They need to be caring about your feelings. And if they don't, you need to walk away.
True that. Chris Stevenson, what's up? Joseph Harris, what up, brother?
What Siege said, I agree with, but when it comes to when a man beats up on a woman, the woman has to deal with it. It's more the woman has the mental illness than the man does. She needs to recognize it. And she needs to leave, and she needs to go get help. Go to a safe house and start getting therapy for it. But until she's ready to do it, she's not going to do it. And she's going to let that man beat on her, and she's going to keep coming back and let that man beat on her. So there's nothing like I could step in, right, and stop the fight. But guess what? She's getting in his car and they're going home together.
Ain't it called like Stockholm syndrome or something like that? There's an actual word for it. There's a condition for it. Because the same thing I think is, listen, if you're beating the hell out of me, I ain't gonna stay around and listen to that. That's easy for me to say. Because it took me a long time. It took me a long time to understand that. Because I would be one of those two. Oh, you just need to leave and you need to go away. But in certain situations would happen, you would listen to certain things, and you're like, nah, there's more to it than that. Yeah. There's more. It's not black and white. There's more nuances to those.
Well, there's more to it than just getting physical beat. They're getting what's not physical beat, but they're getting mentally broken down with words and stuff, and they're making, they think they're nothing in life, and they can't survive without this person, and they deserve what they get, and they shouldn't have, accidentally dropped a can of corn on his toe or whatever.
Right.
And then, so there's a lot more.
And that happens on both sides too. I'm a man advocate because I'm a man. And I understand that there's a little bit of an attack on men. People say, no, it's not. But I understand that works both ways. Because you get a man who'll think that I'm nothing without this woman. It happens all the time. They go jump out the window. They go rob stuff. They go do things. It happens all the time. I love this person so much. I can't have nobody else. I tell my son something that it may sound crazy. I say, yo, the odds are forever in your favor, young man. There are 11 women to every man on this planet. And some of them men are gay and don't like women. So the odds are forever in your favor. You just don't have to settle for anything. I don't care if you got to go on the other side of the world and find some chick who can't speak English or whatever. If she's going to treat you right and treat you like the man you present yourself to be and a responsible human being that you are, then go get her. And I tell them that because I mean that too. I don't want them to ever be like, oh, daddy, I just can't live. Forget that, man. Move on. I mean it. There's 11, maybe 12, 13. But there's some dudes out there that don't like women. So the odds are forever in your favor. So keep it moving. Don't let nobody think that they just the end all and be all and that the sun sets and rises on their pussy. Because that's what we've been taught. That's what we've been taught. And it's time for that to stop. That needs to stop. You need to understand what your value is. I tell my son too this. I say, back in the day when you got married, they would have to pay a dowry for you to take that woman. So that means that you're valuable. We don't tell our sons that stuff anymore. When we should. You're still valuable.
Right.
And those type of things. And if we did, they would know their worth and they wouldn't get into certain situations. That's why I let my son know that above all things, man. Don't get caught up in that female thing. Just don't, because it will.
Let me ask you guys a question, since we're all parents up here. With the situation, how would you react if it was your child being abused by their boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever?
The pigs would not be hungry.
Yeah, I'm ready for. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm ready to fuck something up. I had a situation.
Somebody beat up my daughter.
My own daughter told me not to come to her house, and Billy knows the situation. I was on my way there. She told me not to come there because I was coming back from a meetup and I had a car full of guns and a car full of ammunition. And some shit went on. And she's like, Daddy, please don't come here. Because I'm like, yo, it's going to be some shit. You can't just be fucking up my little girl. That's my only little girl that I got. And you got to if I got to deal with you, I got to deal with you. I'm in a city that's not my city. So that means I got to come hard as hell and I got to be the most violent person there. Now, you don't want to do that. But I can't sit around and let nobody just beat the hell up out of my daughter. I can't do it. And if I find out she was beating on him, I'm gonna talk her down. What are you doing? Why are you putting your hands on him? And then you expect him to see that's how you need to be fair in the situation.
Right.
And getting older, I'm almost 50 years old. I had to learn this stuff. I didn't know all this stuff before, and I got a whole lot more to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm understanding how that stuff works now. It's nuances to all this stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I think about that all the time. I kind of ration out. You get involved the first time. You have to. You have to. And then you look at the third and fourth time as a parent, and you know your kid for the most part. You know your kid. And they're young adults, 20-something years old. And at no point do you ever want to say that you can't get involved in some domestic abuse that's going on with your children, especially your daughters. But at another point, you just want to fucking shake their heads and be like, what the fuck are you doing? How do you keep falling into this shit? If it's not the same guy, it's the same type of guy every fucking time. And that shit burns the shit out of you.
So you just said something that I want to point out. That's what happens with domestic women. They find the same, not the same type of guy. They look for that rough around the edges because he could protect me, even though he's going upside my head. Some of these women rather have a rough around the edges than a straight walking dude because they feel like their life is not entertaining enough. So when you're in your teens and your 20s, you want that excitement. Some girls want that rush. Until
that's a true statement.
Mm-hmm.
I think too is that, and I go back to me as a man, how you should be teaching your sons.
See, that's the thing.
You teach your son that, because everybody want to be a street dude. Let me tell you something. I know real street dudes. They didn't want to be street dudes. They fell into a specific thing and they had to be a certain thing. Now that they're out of it or made their way out and they're living, having families and all that, they didn't want to be involved in that. Teach your son that it's okay to be just a regular stand-up guy. It's okay to be that guy. And if you run into some chick who got to have some excitement and she just got to have some dude that's a thug or whatever, the odds are forever in your favor, young man. Move on.
So I want to hit what Zach was talking about. So a guy doesn't wake up one day and just say, hey, man, I think I'll start beating up on my old lady because I think it'd be fun, right? So usually the guy was beat as a child. Usually you watch his father beat his mother, and then his father used to beat him. And then that's the way he grows up. And it's a cycle. And then he does it to his child, and then that child grows up, and it's a cycle. So, how you break that cycle is the thing.
You gotta.
So let me ask you this now. Because of the world that we're in, because of the common hobby that we all choose to enjoy, do you have to even be more on eggshells on your decisions on what to do? Do you feel that you really got to move light when you get involved in these situations, friends, family, or strangers, all the same? Do you break up a fight knowing that you have a firearm on you?
I do. I absolutely, once I started getting deep into this thing, I understand that I walk around 99% of the time every day with the ability and capability to take someone out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. And it's something that you have to come to as a realization. It makes me move a little different. It makes me back down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It makes me, and then I have to deal with that within myself, because sometimes I feel like a punk. But no, you don't want to, because you want to be able, because I don't want to take anybody's life. But those are the things that once I decided that I was going to be toting around these pistols all the time, I had to get that through my head. I had to understand that, because I have the advantage. Now, the guy may have a pistol too. I don't know that. But the way I look at it is, I know I have an advantage. That's why it was there's no such thing as an unarmed encounter when you're dealing with me, because I'm always armed. Even if the other guy ain't got a gun, there's a pistol there in between. There's no unarmed encounter. There's a pistol there. Those are things that I think about. And it's a maturity thing. I had to learn to understand that and learn to back yourself down and all of that, and understand that it's not me being a coward or me being a punk or nothing like that. It's me
Being smart.
You're right, being smart and respecting the fact that I can take life, and I don't want to take life. You have to understand that and come to a realization of it. Just a maturity thing, man.
You know how many times I've been driving to work or something, and somebody cut me off or want to ride my butt and stuff, and I just want to have a little road rage, and I'd be like, I can't do it. I have a gun. I gotta let that person be an idiot and let him go by and just.
You really have to catch yourself. You know, but I fear, not fear, but this is the reason why we have shows and conversations like this, that we all need some coaching or some reassurance that when that time is when you don't have much time to think about it, when it's directly in front of your face and decisions are not made clearly, they're made with adrenaline and emotion or whatever, that we all know we need to step back. At least if you don't physically step back, mentally step back and realize how deep this rabbit hole can get for you because you have a firearm on you. Shit is really different.
And that's the first thing you need to do is mentally. It needs to be checked before the situation happens. That's why I said one of the best things that I ever did is when I first started shooting. NRA had like a first shots class. And I took it. They had me shoot a bunch of different calibers. Now, up until then, I've seen people shoot guns and stuff like that, but my experience wasn't personal. When I started firing those guns and I started feeling the recoil and hearing the explosion and all of that, it made something in my mind click. It made something change in me. It'd be like, yo, this is a hell of a responsibility. And if I'm going to be doing it, I need to take this seriously. And I need to have some maturity. I lived here for I forget how many years before I decided I was going to get a gun. I could have got one as soon as I got here. But I wanted to make sure that my head was right. I wasn't still like back in Queens with a chip on my shoulder. It's different.
Yeah. There's a difference. And I felt since my time, I don't know if it was just like the perfect storm of me being away from where I was, away from the job that I did, and having a firearm all at the same time made me a calmer person.
Oh, you much calmer now.
It's really different. Yeah. It's different.
And you gotta be.
Yeah. I don't want to look at myself or ever cross my mind with reacting with a firearm. I completely don't. If I got into a fight in the street and I was no avoiding the exchange or whatever, I'd probably fight my way back to the truck to put my gun away. To lock that shit up and put it away.
I don't know.
It depends on the odds. It depends
I
on
know what you're saying.
I understand the sentiment, but for me, it depends on
all of that urge. Take all that urge out of me, all that option. You know, if it's a clean street fight, you know what I'm saying?
And if you can make it back to the car, get in the car and leave.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Okay, put the gun in, just get in the car. You can make it back to the car. Just get in the car and leave.
You know, I haven't.
I do the swinging.
I'm the kind of guy.
I draw a fine line on how much of a pussy that is right there. I'm just playing.
I'm one of those guys. So I don't fight that often. It takes a lot to make me fight. I mean, I really have to be to a certain point pissed off wise. And if I'm carrying a gun, that's a scary thing because when I fight, I black out. I don't come back until the thing's over with, until they're on the ground or I'm on the ground, one of the two. You know what I'm saying? So during the fight, I don't know what's going on. If I have a gun on me, that's scary, you know. That's good.
Yeah. Terry, what's up, young lady?
Walking around with, because guys walk around and they got gun muscles. I don't got gun muscles.
No.
I know I have a firearm, but I understand that just because I have one doesn't mean that I'm going to make it out of whatever situation is going to happen. Those are things that I think about. I've been doing this for years, and those are things that I've made myself, the realizations of things that I had to think about, and I keep at the forefront of my mind and things like that. And I've had times where I've blown up, but you got to think about it. You be in the midst of blowing up, and you got to pull yourself back in because you're getting ready to go off. I'm only human, so I'm not perfect. So you have that, but you try to keep that. That's why I say being a responsible firearms owner that carries a firearm for self-defense is a hell of a frustrating job, man. It just is.
It's a different walk.
Yeah.
Badass, what up?
What up, badass?
yeah, man, it's a hell of a responsibility. Now imagine this. Imagine domestic violence is happening. Somehow, some way we hop out. Gun is still in the car. Gun is still in the truck. Gun is in the house. Not on you. You approach a situation, trying to diffuse it, break it up, get in the middle, whatever it is, and that person has a firearm on them. Now de-escalation like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Have y'all now? I've had a situation like that. I've had it. This was prior to me being a firearms owner, and I got involved in something that I shouldn't have. With a firearm in the middle of two guys, two very big fellas, one with a firearm, and me thinking that my notoriety was going to calm the situation or change it or whatever. It did, but that wasn't promised. That wasn't guaranteed. And that was a hell of a risk for me to get in between these guys. And I think back on that all the time. And I could have been shot just like that.
Just like that. There's a young man here in Dayton. This was many years ago. And he was taught to be honorable. If something happens, you don't want to just let anything happen. You want to, try to make it better if you can. And he did that, and he ended up losing his life. Now, what he was doing was honorable, and he was trying to make something better, and he lost his life doing it. Those are the things that we need to think about too, because it may sound strange, but I do understand that because I tell my son this too. Never don't do the honorable thing because it may put you in danger. Those are different. Every man don't live like that. Those are codes that you decide to live by as a man. Or even a woman. You get a woman, they'll live the same way. But I only can see it from a man's perspective. Never not be honorable, but do the right thing because it may cost you something. You may lose your life.
Cost you everything.
It's a possibility, right? It may cost you everything. But then you got to think, was it worth it? How'd I go out of here? How'd I leave here? See, those are the things that I think about. Those are internal conversations that I have with myself. Those are conversations that I've had with my son because he's a little boy, and I want him to understand that. If you got to walk away, you got to walk away. But some things, that whole thing, no good deed goes unpunished. I'm slowly learning what that means the older I get. I used to hate that saying, but I'm slowly learning what that means. Those are hard life decisions, man. It's not easy. It's not black and white.
Hey, I'm gonna say something real quick. I'm sorry, I apologize, real deal. But this is very, very important. Each and every week we come on here Monday nights and we laugh, we bullshit, we argue, we do all kinds of fun stuff. But Monique, if a conversation like this brings up a comment like what you put, that's all the reason we do this shit. So somebody can sit back and realize there's something out there that exists that they did not know. That makes them think twice about what is going on in their life. Not always gun shit, whatever, just life shit. So I appreciate you being able to say that because that makes us come back next week. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In the meantime, sorry, Ghetto, what up, you ugly son of a bitch?
Ghetto.
What
up, Ghetto?
Damn, he's ugly. No.
That's right. That's how we do.
Now,
Heartfelt moments right into some shitty ass moments.
But I also want to say this. I know a lot of us grew up, right? You don't rat, you don't call the cops. And then teenagers, we run the street, we learn the same code. You don't rat, you don't do this stuff. But you see a guy beating up on a woman in Walmart. Why do you need to step in? Pick up your cell phone, call 911. Stay there until the cops show up, and then you know what? Go finish and then go home. Your job's done.
Hey, real deal.
It's an option too.
That shit don't work around me, man. Snitches get stitches where I'm from.
true.
See, I have a different view when it comes to snitching. I have a different view.
Yeah.
If me and my man go somewhere and we do a crime, we crime partners, we do some shit, and then I tell on him to save myself, I'm a snitch.
Mhm.
I'm a regular citizen and I'm out in the street and some shit going on, somebody getting their ass beat or whatever, and the police come and they then got fucked up, and let's say she's just going sideways or whatever, that ain't snitching. That's being a good citizen. I don't care what nobody thinks about that. That's taking care of trying to help your fellow man. Y'all look at that whole snitching thing has been broadened to some crazy shit that is ridiculous. A snitch is a dude who do some shit with you, just as guilty as you, and he telling you so he don't get a punishment like you do. That's a snitch.
Save his
That's
ass.
a snitch.
That's a real
That's
snitch.
A dirty, rotten, low down snitch.
You're a private citizen. You ain't affiliated with nothing. You just going about your business. You see some shit happening. Yeah, man. That's what you're supposed to do. That's part of your social contract. You're supposed to. You want somebody to do it for you.
Because what Zach was talking about, you may decide to enter into a situation which you fully don't understand the level that's at. And you're kind of stepping in, I'm going to be the good guy and break this up. Next thing you know, you're the one going to hospital. You're the one going to the morgue because it's at this level and you thought it was at this level.
Mm-hmm.
True that. T-Mash, what up? What up?
So I have another question for you, fellas. And I know we've talked about this before in the past, maybe a year or two ago. If a woman's in a domestic situation and she leaves and she's scared for her life and she wants to be trained on handling a firearm, do you get involved?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll train her. Why not?
I was going
right.
to bring this up, Erica, because I remember this conversation last year.
Yes.
You guys had a friend.
Yes.
And everybody said, kind of stay out of it, Billy. Don't give him a gun, all that stuff. I agree. You shouldn't give her a gun.
Right.
But I disagreed when they said stay out of it. You should have took her to the gun range, taught her gun safety and how to protect yourself, and then take her to the gun store and let her buy her own gun for protection.
Mhm.
So everything they told you, I disagreed with, except for giving her a gun.
Yeah, because there's nothing wrong with preparing her to be able to protect herself. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all.
All right. So
because she needs to be able to stand up and say, "You ain't doing this to me no more."
Right.
And boom, boom, boom.
If necessary.
Is this a climate? Is this a climate as a trainer or now? I'm not talking about no, federally fucking licensed trainer. I'm talking about a person that's showing another person how to do something. So as a trainer in that scenario, is that the climate that you want to teach somebody how to possibly kill to survive? That you good with that?
That's what Second Amendment's about. It's to be able to protect yourself.
Yeah, I don't get where I'm just automatically. First of all, I'm not teaching anyone to kill. I'm teaching you how to defend yourself. Now, if I gotta put a whole magazine in something to stop the threat, then that's what I gotta do. But I'm not teaching you to kill. I'm teaching you to protect yourself so you don't get the shit beat out of you.
So you don't get killed.
Right, so you don't get killed. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
CJ, what up?
Man, I'm handsome.
Yeah.
Y'all hurt my feelings.
I mean,
For Seattle.
somebody told you that, but no.
Man, it's a great topic, first and foremost. I'm not sure how many stories. I just got done working in my backyard and I popped in here to see you guys was live. I had a personal story when it came to domestic violence. I mean, if you don't mind me sharing.
Yeah.
But it kind of opened my eyes a lot. So basically in the place we used to live, it was a duplex, and we had some new neighbors that moved in, and they were just directly, there was only 2 units and they was connected to us. Well, and it started out, we didn't know what was going on when it started out. Basically, there was a bunch of commotion, they was fighting, stuff like that. And all of a sudden, this lady said, help, he's killing me, right? So I look up at my girl, I go grab my piece, I run over there. As I open the front door to get in there, she is actually beating the out of him. She got no marks on her. There's nothing happening to her. This dude got like half his finger missing because she done bit it off. Sitting there just wailing on him. So I put my piece back in my holster because I didn't want them to see that. I didn't want them to see that I came in here, because I thought this lady was being killed, to be honest, you know. So what had ended up happening, I guess the other neighbors had called the police or whatever, is she ended up going to jail because she was actually the perpetrator, which to me it was like, dang, I need to mind my own business. I could have just put myself into a whole big situation for nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Gail, let me ask you a quick question. I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Mhm.
So you thought the guy was beating on the female, so you were going to go save her. So is her life more important than his?
Yep. God made a man stronger than a woman. If you cannot take your woman, then you don't need to be with that woman.
And
I
I'm
agree.
And now I don't think you're joking, so I'm going to tell you that that's bullshit. Because her life ain't worth no more than his.
I'm not saying it's worth more. I'm just saying that we are able to.
And her life is valuable. And a woman can kill you just as fast as a man can. See, I don't play that because those are ideas and thoughts that they put inside young men's head these days. And it fucks them
Back in
up.
our day.
Right. Back in it messes them up. Now, that's why I don't play that. His life was just as valuable as hers.
Right. I agree with that. But to put it in context, dude was like twice her size. There was nothing that he.
It ain't the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. You don't agree with that?
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying that he didn't need no help physically. Like he was letting her whoop on him. Like I wasn't gonna jump in and start whooping on her to save him when he's very capable of doing it.
And that's a different situation because if he was actually capable and he was letting her, he made that choice in his mind that hey, I'm a big
exactly
guy.
that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Beating on me and beating her. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grab her up, slam her up against something, and lay on her. She ain't doing nothing. She's just gonna be there until someone comes or whatever. That's what's gonna happen.
But what if that guy identified as a woman? It was two women.
Oh, this dude, man.
See, hey, real deal. That's a real fucking
That's a
scenario.
real situation. Yeah. This
Yeah.
is 2023, man. This is the type of stuff that happens nowadays.
That's right.
And that's the shit, man. If there is a domestic situation, man, and you notice that, you know, this handsome young lady is pretty good, at what point do you treat them like a lady in a fight or
Not a handsome young lady.
gotta break shit up?
Nice.
Not girls fighting, but it's really a guy and a girl, but they both look like girls or whatever.
Man, I'm whooping that dude's ass. I don't care what he looks like. He beating on a girl, I'm gonna jump in and protect the actual female. Sorry.
That way, if it was a stud, because a stud is a woman, but just a little bit more manly. Are you gonna fight a stud the way you would fight a transgender man? Yeah.
She's a handsome woman.
Nobody.
Yeah,
Get y'all. No. Don't answer it. Don't answer it because she's gonna get us canceled tonight.
I'm just saying.
Remember, there's females that take male hormones, and there's males that take female hormones. That switches everything up, man.
And that's the thing. In that nowadays, those situations are real situations. Right. Even though it may seem crazy to us, it may seem weird. That is the world we live in.
right, it is, yeah.
Uncle June, what it is, Big Zoe, what's
Uncle June?
If you were in the movie Life and you saw Jingaling beating up on his woman in prison, would you jump in?
You don't get involved in prison shit. You don't even look.
What?
Face down,
the
bro.
other damn way.
Jingaling.
You want to know something? The funny thing is, in today's society, it's not a rabbit hole. These are real situations that can pop up.
Right.
Yeah.
When you go buy a gun now, it says, are you male, female, or binary?
Yeah, everybody's got these what is it? You can use this pronoun, or I feel this way, so I can say I'm this. So that is the world that we live in now. That's reality. That's not rabbit hole anymore. It might have been rabbit hole 20, 30 years ago, but today it ain't a rabbit hole. That's what's going on.
Well, look at that. Who was it? That lady professor, right? She was making buku bucks or whatever. She was a white woman who identified as a black lady, and she would curl her hair and all that stuff.
Yeah, Rachel Dolezal decided she was gonna be black.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hey, Resilient Dad.
What's up?
What's up, Resilient Dad?
You know we can hear you with that
Happy
great ass
Memorial
microphone
Day
you
to
got.
everyone.
What's up, man?
Thank you. No worries. This is a great topic, and to apply it to 2023, I think it's like it's super important because we are living right now in 2023 and beyond, and I think that's something that's just important to keep in mind. Right? We can look at DV as something that's like, you know, in the past it was a man against a woman, but DV is violence, regardless if you think about it, man against a woman or anything, right? I know the complex of about. I've actually seen it. You know, when we are part of the Elemental P community and stuff like that, and you see that, right? And stuff like that, and it's like, okay, well, what side do you choose?
Yeah, you don't know where
Right,
to get
it's-
involved and who
yeah.
to break up.
But the thing is, if there's violence that's threatening someone's life, right, regardless, right, of what the perceived pronoun is, right, this is something that has to be, it has to be resolved. It has to have somebody that can protect whoever is a victim at that time, right? So you really can't decide on that, right? You just got to look at the human factor of it, which is, you know, who is violence being committed against, right? Who is vulnerable to their life and safety, and moving accordingly, right? And I would love to see authorities or justice or whatever that is to move accordingly to that, right? Regardless of whatever you identify, right?
I agree. I'm a libertarian, and I believe nobody should inflict any will or pain and suffering onto anybody because you can, you know.
Yeah, and I'm not libertarian, but I don't know. Maybe some of my views are, but I believe in live and let live. You know, I believe that live your life how you want to live it, as long as you're not hurting anyone
Right.
or you're causing any sort of harm.
Yeah. That's what I'm
that's-
saying. Like, it's indifferent. Violence is indifferent of whatever you choose to live, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's indifferent. Violence is violence, right? And violence is threatening to someone's life and safety, right? And that's just what it is, right? That's a universal thing that I think, regardless of how complex the world can be, that's something that's standard, and it hasn't been tainted with, right? So, yeah.
And that too, even in that, it depends on where you are. If I'm standing maybe in New York City, it might be looked at different. If I'm standing here where I am in Centerville, it's a little bit more conservative. It might look at it a little bit. It depends. That's what I'm saying. The world is a different place, and I'm learning how to live in this new world now, which I think is kind of funny. Because all of the stuff that we thought were norms, and they're still normal to me, but people look at them totally different. It's like,
Well,
I can't say I don't agree with your lifestyle, because if I do, that means that I'm some sort of phobic. No, it just means that I don't agree with it. You can live your life what you want, but
And because I don't agree with whatever lifestyle, right, doesn't necessarily mean I can't show you love or kindness, right? It doesn't mean that.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, I don't have to
agree with it.
I don't have to hate you. I'm
But
not
it
here.
doesn't mean that I have to be fake to show you love and kindness. That's a human being act, you know, that we're all born with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But most people, they don't. That's the one thing that I have. That's the problem that I have with that. If you don't agree, all of a sudden, oh, you phobic this, you phobic. No, that's not true. Because if somebody was whooping your ass, and I thought they were gonna kill you, I ain't gonna just let them do it.
No, that's when violence gets involved, right? We protect those that aren't equipped to protect themselves at that moment, right? Regardless of what it is, right?
And that's how it should be. That's how it should be looked at. That makes it.
I know we're in this generation of, you see somebody struggling and we just want to pull out our phones. But just imagine you being in those shoes and everybody's pulling out their phone looking at you. You know?
Yeah, you know what? That's what we were talking about earlier. And Resilient Dad, I'll be honest with you, man. It's a tough decision to pull out.
Mm.
Yeah.
Depends on how you're raised, I guess.
totally
I don't
agree.
know.
I totally
No,
agree.
well,
Right.
I think it depends on what you see in your future.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Depends on
When you
who's
have
doing it as
kids
well.
and everything else, or you don't even have to have kids, right? You can have cousins, you can have fake cousins, right?
Mhm.
You can have family friends, right? My thing is, it's like knowing what you actually can do and knowing what you should do is two different things in those moments. Of course, initially you should protect yourself, right? Especially as a civilian, knowing that you know you're protecting yourself first, right? But also, if you see something that's egregious, right? I mean, depending on the nature, you know, of who, like, of what you can do and who you are, right? You know, I think that if you have the ability, you should step up, regardless if you stepping up and saying like, "Hey," or in a voice, right? Not necessarily saying that you got to get hands and knees and feet, right? Like make them smell your cologne or something like that. It's not that, right? It's it's something to detract or deter, right, from the act continuing, right?
Mhm.
And that's a
Yeah.
human act, you know.
Yeah.
Because usually most people are scared to do something, but one guy stand up and break the ice, the whole crowd mentality happens. You got another guy saying stop. You got another guy
Yeah.
saying stop. Another guy saying stop. Usually that whole because
Yeah, it's a herd mentality,
strength in
and this
numbers.
is what we're living in. It's a herd
Right.
mentality, but it takes that one person, and then the second person is even stronger, right? And the
Right.
third person. So this is the social world we live in right now, in 2023 plus. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna disagree with you just a tad bit. So let's take it
Please.
back to abusive. So you're walking down the street, you see a man beating up on a woman, you get involved. And then you have to kill this guy to protect your life, right? That doesn't mean that girl's gonna be grateful what you did. She may, matter of fact, you're gonna get arrested and stuff, and she may be a witness for the prosecutor because she's gonna sit on the stand and said that you had no right to get involved and everything was perfectly fine until you got involved.
Yeah, I totally agree. And let's practice discernment on this, right? I'm walking down the street. Let's even put in like I'm walking down the street with my wife, right? And I see a DV going on or something that looks like a DV to me as a civilian, right? And I'm it's not saying I'm killing this guy, right? I'm making sure my wife is straight. And if that's the situation there, I would say something instead of actually being physical, right? I would say something first, to deter that, like to let them know that I acknowledge this. And then, whatever it progresses to, right? It's not necessarily like saying that I'm coming in trying to like kill a guy,
No,
all
I'm
like
just
GTA
saying.
type of
I
style.
wasn't
Like
saying you just killed this
that's
guy
not realistic.
outright. I'm saying you got involved and it got to the point where you didn't have a choice. You didn't have a choice no more. You had to protect yourself. It was either you kill this guy or he was going to kill you. You're just not going to say, "Hey, I'm killing this guy." Bang, you're dead.
Well, that's what
It came to the point where you had to do it for survival. But then you get arrested, and now she's a witness for the prosecutor.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's a
because you never
slippery
know how
slope,
many
right?
times
That's
she
a
went back
slippery
to him.
slope. But that
Sorry.
doesn't mean that you like for those one-offs, right? It doesn't mean that you can't be a great human being in the act of, hey, if you see something, I hate saying like a Dare commercial or anything, but if you see something, you got to say something. Like there's something also that's surfacing where somebody was taken advantage of in a public place, in a real way, and everyone was not trying to say anything, right? So what do you do in that situation, right? So it's like there are different levels to this. But I think that as a human act, first make sure your safety is good. If you're safe enough to bring up your phone, you're safe enough to actually say something, right?
Why can't you just call 911? Aren't you doing something? Aren't you?
Yeah, you can say something. You can call 911. You can bring even any establishments around you. You can get their attention, right? So now it's a collective effort. It's a communal effort. Like if you are safe enough to bring up your phone and record it, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes recording it is a safe enough, like the most safe thing you can do, right? But also, if you are safe enough to bring up your phone and record it, you might be also safe enough to not only record a piece and then also try to have some type of impact to the event, right?
From deterring or
But
somebody.
yeah.
So let me
my thoughts.
Let me throw a whole monkey wrench into this entirety. What if you can't call 911? 911 is the aggressor that you're trying to interfere.
You saying if it's the police?
If it's the police committing domestic violence, how do you get involved? What is the safest way, or do you at all?
She's
But
screwed.
you still call 911. You still have to report it on
Yeah.
that on
Yeah,
line.
still, you still want to report it.
Report it on that line. They have to bring that. To my understanding, they have to use that in court.
Well, this is great. This is a great monkey
If it's a couple
wrench,
cops
too.
beating up on somebody,
This is a
you
great
report
monkey
it.
wrench because we should all know what to do when authorities are involved,
Mhm.
and it could be the one that could be, on that. And this is not anything of that, but if there is just, one person with the authorities and, that's happening, or is there multiple people, right, and authorities at one person, right, and that's happening, right? I think that this is something that should be socialized. It's okay to call the police on the police, right? Like it's okay, And if there's multiple accounts, right, then that's okay too, right? Like it's no knock to anyone or anything. It's okay, and it should be a normal practice, right? And then also from that, after you call the police on the police, right, there should be some type of deterrent to an extent that isn't lethal or anything like that, such as words if you're not getting away and things like that. But I think initially we should all be comfortable with knowing that you are still you have a right to call the police on the police initially. If you see something, like, you're okay to call the police on the police. Like there's no wrongdoing in that. Actually, you're doing your civic duty.
I think it's more important that I agree, call the police on the police, but I think it's more powerful if you record the incident, what goes on, because that's evidence.
Correct. Yeah. So, yeah, I was
Because
assuming
you're
that
not
there
going
were
to
multiple
step
parties.
in. You're not going to step in a police situation and stop it because.
Why not?
What do you mean why not? Because
Why
you're
not?
become part of it, and you're going to jail, or you're going to lose your
Right,
life.
right. Let me use an example though. Look, George Floyd. Look at all those people that had cameras out. Not one of them stepped to that dude while he was murdering him in the street.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, but
You're not going
because of the video
win when it
footage,
comes to
right?
police.
Because of the video footage, right? He lost. It happened. What happened happened, but because of the video footage, right? It still gave some type of justice.
But if somebody stepped in, could they have saved his life?
No, they'd probably been dead.
Right? That's discerning, right? And I agree, and I'm not going to get into that. But I think it takes multiple parties, and it takes the community to know what's going on and like be okay with doing what they have to do at all times, right? So if you're okay with just staying back and recording, that helps. Right. If you're like more vocal, that helps. Right. In those unique situations, right, that we see more frequently, that's just what the normal almost should be practice. Right. But that's not saying that that's going to bring anybody back that, that passed, man. That's not going to bring anybody back, but what does happen is how we practice, and hopefully with our lives ourselves, with our children, with our nieces, nephews, cousins, friends, people that we even have a social media community with, that's something that hopefully we can all practice over time, that it's something that we can, make normalized in a way to know, like, you're not helpless in these environments. Like, there are certain things you can do. Just imagine if one of those bystanders, right, would have been able to push up, right, or whatever, right, at that time. Would it have changed anything? Would it have helped anything? Right, we don't know, right?
Would it have made it worse?
Happen.
And that's exactly. And that's something that we just cannot judge, understand, or foresee, because what happens. So it's always talk about
what you're willing to do. Because there's some people when I've watched it, I've seen videos. Police do crazy stuff. You get people who are like, listen, I don't care if it's police. I ain't gonna let you just do whatever.
Yeah.
There are people who make up that decision in their mind that, hey, what I see going on is so egregious. I don't care if you got a gun and a badge. Once you step outside of that law, you just another dude hurting somebody else. There are people who are like that. They'll take the consequence. But I don't care.
Tupac did it.
Do it. Yeah.
I agree. And Tupac.
It's cool to
Yeah.
like.
I agree
get
with
all
you,
that,
Zach.
But in the topic of this conversation, right? Like, I totally agree. Yeah, Tupac did it, got away with it, right? We already know.
So I agree with you, Zach. But it's a situation like when you're confronting a cop when they're breaking the law and do something like that. It's a difference when you have 3 or 4 of them beating up on somebody. You try to inject yourself in that situation, you're not doing it. You're not doing any good.
But that's why I say
you're gonna get your ass beat.
It's up to that person. You'll get a person who just like, yo, I don't care. You get those people who just it's worse for them.
They may be dead people too, because at the end of the day.
And they may get killed. But you know that there are people out there who say, hey, that's a worthy way to go because I was saving some man's life. Those are life. Those are people that are like that. I look at it no different than a guy who's over in a trench somewhere. You fighting this guy and you in a war. You decided I was going to throw my body on this hand grenade to save this guy next to me.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't do that, but there are people in this world who will do that. They'll throw themselves in a hand grenade to save the next man. Everybody ain't going to do it, but
my rule of thumb when it comes to police
totally
is you're not going to win. You're not going to win that day with the police. To beat the police, you need the evidence, and you can win in the court.
Yeah, but you have to survive to get to the court, right? Like,
exactly.
And he's not even a guarantee that he's in court.
So exactly. And what I was saying is, it's not necessarily, we don't really know what we'll do in that moment, right? Like, we think we know, but we don't really know, right? And with that, it's best to practice and socialize, the things that you can do to feel like you have power, right? Recording is one. Deterring is one. Saying something is one, right? There's a few things that you can do, regardless if it's the police or if it's like a domestic DV, bringing it back to the point.
True. It all depends on what you as a person is willing to do. And and like I said, you don't know until you're in the situation.
I'm gonna go back to this comment that Badass. A lot of people get to talking about, in the safety of our living rooms and man caves, get to talking about the shit that we would do, but not everybody can do what we say we would do.
Mm-hmm.
Just can't morally do it. Can't physically do it. They can't mentally do it. It's a thought. It's the first thought that we, tough out and sound good about, but killing somebody is
we love hitting that keyboard.
Everything's situational too. I have a military homeboy. He's like, he had no problem doing the war thing, but one situation he talked about, I was getting out of the plane, but I had to take a shit real bad. That changed my whole get. He was going into enemy territory, but his stomach was messing with him. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's all situational, basically, is my point.
100%.
Yeah, I didn't see that comment, but honestly, like I said, you don't know what you're gonna do into that situation, and in that situation, everything is always unique,
Mm-hmm.
Can I throw a caveat
that's what I
there?
respect it as, but regardless if it's police or not, I think that the police situation is unique, and it should be socialized in a certain way. But overall, DV in general, right, is something that regardless of what you identify, whatever pronoun, what do you ever see? Whoever's committing violence, right? That is somebody that you should protect the victim against, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easily to define that, but when you can understand who's doing the most damage, I think you could understand. Okay, for this time being, if you are about that type of life, that type of time, you should be able to figure something out. But if not, do what you can and don't do anything,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And realize that regardless of what you do, it's going to be life-changing. So, it's either going to shake your day or shake the rest of your life. So decide to get involved, understand the responsibility that you're undertaking at any point of that. You know what I'm saying?
Also, the responsibility of not helping somebody. If you're sitting there and you physically can help this lady or this man from dying from another person's hands, you're going to live with that the rest of your life. You're going to second guess yourself the rest of your life just by not doing something. You know what I mean? There's repercussions on both ends if you help or if you don't help.
Yeah, yeah. Philly Slow, what up? Hillbilly, what's popping? Honcho, what it is. Jinkta.
I'm gonna climb back over there into the chat, but you guys, much respect, happy holidays, and much salute, and much respect to all of our veterans, regardless of you served and got away with it, you still dealing with something, or you served, or you know somebody that served, and they became your angel, or you served and you got a better life now. Like regardless, much respect. Happy Memorial Day to everyone.
Thanks.
Always a pleasure, my brother. Be safe out there.
Be safe,
Always. Yes,
Have
sir.
a good one, brother.
Love.
Peace.
Joe said it's right.
That's right. I know what I'm gonna do. If I come across 3 cops beating up on somebody, I'm gonna record it. I ain't jumping in the middle of it. I'm doing that right now. I already know what I'm doing. Hey,
I'm
to
the other
answer
side.
a question earlier, in America, we do not have the Good Samaritan.
Whatever. It depends on the state and sometimes the city. Because I've heard some people getting sort of had issues because there was a Good Samaritan law. They didn't do anything. It depends on the state. It's not a federal thing. It depends on the state, and it could be a city thing too. It may be a state or maybe a city ordinance or whatever, but they do exist.
They do, but it's not a federal law. Or anything.
Yeah, no, there's no federal Good Samaritan law.
Yeah, I mean, as Seinfeld. Remember?
I remember.
All right, I have one more question for the ladies in the chat. If you friends with somebody that's in a domestic situation, do you stay friends with that person and continuously try to talk her out of it, or you stop being friends with that person because it's hard to see her go through a situation where she doesn't want to leave or feel like she's not worthy enough to leave?
Yeah, as a family member or friend that's close to a situation, a lot of us entertain those people, those conversations, especially as sisters and cousins. You let him put his hands on you, this, that, you know how it goes. And a lot of times you have, after tries, sometimes you do got to wipe your hands and let them kind of go through it.
If they keep going back to him, yeah. If it's one of those type of situations where they just stay, you know what I mean? The first time you hear about it, you got to react. I don't know about you guys, but I'll react.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. You got that first time, and after that, man, even if it's your own kid, it's difficult to retract your life off of a situation that you might not have the full intelligence on,
Right. If it's my own kid, though, yeah, I'll do the prison sentence. Dude ain't gonna exist no more.
And it's a tough situation. Back in the day, when I was in the church, rolling heavy in the church, we were in the church where there were guys where we would beat your ass. Let me just tell you, that's what we would do. We beat your ass. And I mean, I'm talking about from the pastor on down. We fuck you up. So we had a sister who got into a domestic situation, and the dude, he put his hands on her. He did whatever. He wasn't supposed to. So we went to see him, and we saw him. But you want to know what happened? He stayed. Went right back to him.
Yeah.
Just stuck on for months, if not years after that.
That's right. Until she's ready to leave, she's going to keep going back.
So we got into the middle of the situation because we call ourselves being brothers and helping her or whatever. And I mean, he could have been out of here. And we felt justified. But she went right back. Eventually, when she got tired, like Real Dude said, she went on. Yeah. But she stayed for a long time, even after we intervened.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep. That promise. Oh, he promised me he wouldn't do it. And if I didn't burn the noodles that night, he wouldn't have done that. But he was really hungry.
And that's why
I'm gonna touch into I'm gonna get into a really touchy subject for a lot of us, men and women. But I don't even know if this is a question. This is kind of a statement. A lot of us as men clean up mess in our own lives, our wives, our girlfriends, fiancés, from some fuck ass douchebag that ruined the mind of the woman that you're trying to spend the rest of your life with. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy for a woman to trust a man, I'm sure, after situations like that. Shit, we had to be in a relationship for 10 fucking years before I feel like Erica was just like, all right, he's really not gonna do nothing to me. He's a good guy, like he said he is. You know, it took a long fucking time to feel like I proved that. And a lot of us as men and women, all the same, we really got to go the extra mile because somebody fucked it up, you know, prior. You know,
I agree with that. I think that I know a lot of you guys don't know. I was in an abusive relationship where it was both ways, where I abused him, he abused me. When it came to Billy, I was waiting for that moment. I would purposely poke him to see what reaction he would have to see if I was going to stay or not. Because you have to, most women don't go to like marry into an abusive relationship. Sometimes he's all cool in the game until they get married and then he becomes abusive. My thing was, I'm not marrying anybody to see that reaction. I want to know up front if that's who you are. So yeah, I think with
it's a risk. It's a risk you take. It's a risk.
Right.
You could have found out, a whole different person. I could have been. But it's a tough spot to be in as a. Not saying that everybody in here is a good guy. There's a lot of people in here. I don't know who's a good guy and who's a bad guy. But I know who I am, and it's a rough spot to be in to try to convince somebody that that's not even in your nature to have abusive stance and abusive urges and all that shit. And it's hard. You feel so guilty, almost like you've done it before. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, let me commend you for that, because there are certain rules and things that I would not do. So I commend you for that, because I wouldn't stay in that situation. That's me. I have certain rules and things that I wouldn't get into. If a woman had kids and stuff, I ain't want to deal with her. I don't care how bad she was. If I knew behind that, there's some dude somewhere, whether he in jail or whatever. Or a woman who's been abused and she come out of something and you know about it. And they start opening up and telling you that stuff. You have to decide whether or not you want to deal with it. And me, it's not something that I would want to deal with. That's why I say I commend you for that. It's not something that I would want to deal with. Right. It's trauma. Do I want to deal with that person's trauma? And my thing is, if I don't want to deal with it, no, I don't think I have to. I don't think it's my responsibility. Once I find out, if I just stay and keep going along, and then all of a sudden I say, well, I don't want to deal with this. But as soon as I find out, like, nah, this ain't gonna work, because I'm not willing to put in that work for that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's just the situations. The situations are different. That's why I said I commend you for that. Because me, I wouldn't do that.
Sophia, you're right.
Yep.
You're right.
This may even be a trigger conversation for some people, to where they look at their life and be like, yo, I was there. I was that person.
Yeah, or I'm there now and I'm that person. And I need to shake a leg and get up out of here. So hopefully for anybody, this will reach somebody. as it.
Yeah,
as
I
it
want
goes.
to. I mean, cut you off. I want to say this: if you're in that situation, nobody can help you in that situation. Only you can help you in that situation, and you got to make up your mindset that you're done with it. And you got to, and once you make up that mindset that you're done with it and start moving on, then there'll be people there to help you, and there's organizations there to help you. But it's up to you. You got to make the first step.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I know guys who've been in that, who've put themselves in different situations and everything. I'm like, hats off to those guys, man. But you have to know what it is you're willing to do. That's why I say that's something in me that's not willing to do it. But I commend you for it because you stuck with it and you did it and it worked out for you. I might lose out on something. I have lost out on something. Who knows?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and that's what we have to live with.
Now you got a real way to God, baby.
I'm trying to drop this thing as soon as my phone catches the internet. I'm trying to drop this link.
For the hotline number.
Yeah, let me see if I can get up.
I told you to.
Is it like a national thing, Billy? Or
Yeah.
what is it? Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Harris. Right.
Yeah. That's a lot of people's stories right now. It'd be too far gone. Y'all been dating since high school or junior high school. Let me see. I think that's it. Yeah, there it is.
The hotline, is that one?
Yep.
The hotline.
.org. Yep.
I'll drop it for you.
Thank you. Yeah, sometimes, man, you just no different than a woman that keeps going back is they're waiting for change. You know what I'm saying? Is no different than a man who knows they got something that they should walk away from, but they stick it out to see if it goes somewhere. You know, same thing. It might not be black eye or something like that, but it could be a whole lot of demands. It could be a whole lot of putting down and talk about what you don't have and you're not a good this or you don't, there's all different types of abuse that people fucking deal with and go through.
And they go hand in hand. They usually go hand in hand.
Well, old CJ over there goes, it's like hand in hand, but
we go around in a circle.
In a circle.
You know what? I wish you would make that freaking video not private no more, so y'all can see how they.
That's a video for you to make. I don't think nobody wants to see that video.
At least you're admitting it now.
That's right.
No.
Yeah, to see that video, you got to go through the swinging doors.
That's right. When the circle
Either the red
is
curtain
unbroken.
So y'all might have asked this, and I ain't saying it just to get the subject off of me, but if you see your homeboy being mentally abused by his wife, do you say something to him? Just over and over and over.
Yeah.
She just
Like,
humbles.
why are you doing this?
If that's your boy,
Why wouldn't you?
he might get mad at you and be like, he might get pissed off at you. But if that's your real friend, if that's your boy, you say something. Then after that, that's your responsibility to say, listen, man, I see this, I see that. Especially it depends on that person. They know you down for them. This is my man. So we get down. Say something to him. You I love him. This is what I see. And deep down inside, he might not ever mention it to you, might not ever admit it to you. But he know on the inside. Yeah. You just give him some sort of solace to that man. My man noticed. He gonna be a certain way because he don't want you to see him like a punk. But at least you just gave him a little something to hold on to.
He wants you to leave him.
Making it more noticeable too.
Mm-hmm.
He may not even think anybody can see it. Yeah, right. I've seen that situation before.
Hey,
to where they were more or less embarrassed.
Look, Erica over here guilty as hell right now. She like, Zach talking about you right now.
That's true. That's why you do on the phone on some of those conversations. I'd be like, "Are you on the phone?"
I'll be on the phone. I'll be on the phone. So I'd be like, "Hi, I gotta go." I was like, "Nah, you can stay on the phone with me till I get to the house." Just kidding. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, man, it's real shit. Listen, anybody who knows somebody or themselves or whatever, the hotline.org,
Mhm.
give them a call or text. They even take text messages.
Yeah.
They even will talk to you ambiguously, or what do you call that, incognito.
They'll find a shelter for you to go to and everything.
Yeah.
Go if you go see. I mean, this thing that goes. Go see a priest. Go see a pastor somewhere. I mean, there's something. You don't have to just like suffer in silence. You may have to do a little something. Do some maneuvers so you can get away, or do something like that because you want to be, be slick with it. You may need to, but just don't sit in it, man, and just let it happen to you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I look at this.
If you can do it, please let's go somewhere and have somebody help.
That's right. I look at it this way: a wife beater is like a child molester. They're never going to change.
Yep. That's why you gotta smoke them.
I would never.
Damn.
Sorry, I said smoke a cigarette.
Yeah. Huh?
Nothing. My bad.
You got it. You work with it.
I'm trying really hard to be not very honest on here. I really am, because
Child molester, the whole other story.
I don't like the legalities of. I don't know, man. I see it different than what you were saying, real deal. But
That's
if
true.
I see a dude beating on a woman, man, I don't think I'd be able to stop myself from, call you. I don't know, man. Just they need to be disposed of. That's all. Because usually dudes that do that, they have this power complex, and they're just going to go do it to the next woman.
Of course,
So
they
you
are.
may be saving this
Like a
one
child
particular
molester.
woman, but he gonna go do it to somebody else. So just take out the equation.
Yeah, but you just
Yeah, you can tell your cellmate about it when you guys have time to talk at night.
Here's the funny thing: there are certain things that I do believe that there's redemption in certain things. Now, the whole thing with children, I don't believe there's no redemption. I agree with you, real. I agree with you. Take them off the map. I agree, 100%. But there are some things that I believe that there's redemption for. I just do, because a person, what is it? Hurt people.
Yep.
There's something there that needs to be dealt with. There's something there. I mean, even if for some reason you had to kick somebody's ass, at some point, what if that person got themselves together and become like that? I mean, they spend the rest of their life making up for all the bullshit that they did, how many lives they could affect.
Mhm.
You gotta think about that too.
Yeah,
when it
but
comes
a
to
wife
children,
beater isn't going to change his stripes overnight.
Right,
It's
not
just like-
overnight. I didn't say overnight.
He's
But
got to
there
need some
is
deep
there's a
therapy,
process. Exactly. There's a
just
process.
like a child molester would need.
Well, I don't think there's no therapy for that. I got 9mm therapy for that.
Yeah,
That's just
I hear
that's my stance on that.
My man.
but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I think they're cut from the same cloth.
Nah, I think it's a different sickness.
Well, usually when somebody rapes a child is because when they were a child they got raped, and just like a wife beater. Usually when somebody beats on a woman is because he got beat on as a child. It's the same pattern. But
Right.
yeah,
Same excuse.
Yeah,
They say, you know what? They say that real deal. I think it is. Look, I've been a victim. Look, let me spill something real quick. I've been a victim of both. And I didn't grow up to do nothing to kids but protect them. And I did not grow up to hit on my wife.
Well,
So
that's
I
great.
believe that shit is an excuse that society gives them, or whoever gives them. But that shit's an excuse. You're a human being at the end of the day.
There are
You
some
have a-
people who are just
Yep.
bad people.
There you go. Exactly. They just evil.
Bad people. There are, and those
They
people,
evil.
I'm not against. I'm not against them not being in society. I believe it helps.
I'm not either.
And I did.
I ain't sticking up. You guys are acting like I'm sticking up for these people.
No, I'm not. Nah, you good, real deal. I got a little personal on that one. My bad, homie.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't like that excuse on that one though. It's they was victimized, or they was no, man. That gives them an excuse to do it to other people. Deep down, they're evil.
But
evil is evil.
In all cases, there's one thing that I just will not forgive. Well, and then Ghetto, there's something in you that was different than some other guy. Something in you that wasn't evil enough to perpetrate that stuff on somebody else. That's why I say it's situational. But but I believe if someone can bring themselves to do something like that to a child, the fact that you were able to ponder on it, think about it, and go make it happen, I believe that he take you off the map.
Yep.
I'm not looking for redemption. I'm not Jesus. I'm not trying to forgive you. Forgiveness for me is, let me just get you out of here because you got something going on and you just need to not be here because you're gonna hurt you. That's what it is. There's nothing anyone can say to me. You do something, you rape my child, rape my son, and you do something. There's nothing you can say to me. Oh, I felt this. No. I'll end up being in jail because you have to be off the map.
Well,
Some things, like I'm saying, I'm not Christ. I don't forgive. I can't.
I want to throw, and this is changing direction a little bit, just a little bit, but I just want to throw this out there. Only because we have a habit of imagining things the way the fuck we see it. All tonight, we talked about us intervening, domestic dispute situations, etc. Oftentimes, we're not alone, and we're with our significant other, a child or a wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. How do you fucking, at what point do you get involved, or do you at all, if your child is close enough? If somebody's getting rough and loud in a restaurant and you're sitting in Friendly's or Red Lobster with your 8-year-old, and you hearing this guy calling somebody a B or this lady calling somebody a punk or whatever. At what point do you, as a gentleman or a gentle lady, say, hey, I got a kid over here, you guys can, or do you get up and leave? How do you react in those situations like that?
Never had it happen yet. I don't know, but I would think, because I understand the lethality of what it is I can do. Come on, let's just go.
Just get
nothing
up and leave.
I don't want him to see that. I don't want him, first of all, I don't want him to see me have to do anything crazy. And not to mention the fact, it doesn't mean I'm going to make it out of the situation. What if he watched somebody take me off the map?
Yeah.
Not just mess them up. It's better just say, come on, let's keep it moving. On the way out, I might say something to the manager. Hey, you got this thing going on over. This is why I'm leaving. So I'm going. But my thing is to get them out of the situation. Interjecting myself into the situation may cause more of a problem. And my thing is, most important is to protect them.
Right. Mine would be situational. I mean, first instinct would be like, my kids got to get to the car, but depending on the situation that's happening in front of me, like if a lady was getting beat down or somebody less vulnerable than the other person, to keep it 2023 correct. It doesn't matter if it's a woman or a dude. If somebody is less, more vulnerable getting attacked, I would want my kid to see me react to them and protect that person that is vulnerable. But it all depends on the situation. I mean, it really does.
Now, do you want your kid to see that to teach them to understand, like a lesson?
Yes, that is human decency to help somebody that is being hurt. Yes, very much so.
Understood it. It's wild because children up to a certain young adult age, it traumatizes them. I don't know if there's a lesson to be learned. I know that there is a witness to violence, and it's not everything that they can kind of put together and understand, reasoning or not. It scares the fuck out of kids.
That's why it's better it's better just take them out of the situation. Like, come on.
Right.
And he might ask me why, and I got to explain to him why. Because at that moment, me making sure you're okay was more important than whatever was going on over there. But ultimately,
exactly,
it's my responsibility. The other person, it's not my responsibility. He is. Sometimes you got to just fall back to that stuff too. Now, I'll explain to him why. This is why we left, because this was going on. I didn't want you to be in the middle of it. Like I said, I understand that just because I'm armed don't mean I'm walking away from the situation. I could be not walking away from the situation. And
exactly.
I traumatize myself. So, daddy died in front of me.
Right. 1 second, real deal. So to add on to that, from that situation that I came in here talking about, it ended up going on for 6 months. And that was the needle that broke the camel's back or whatever it's called for us to move into where we live right now. And my son still deals with situations having to leave the light on and stuff because they were so loud beating on each other. We ended up finding out they was drug addicts, just all the extras. But it sounded like they were coming through the walls of our house, you know, so we had to get out basically. And that's why I told my son, I was like, this is why we moved. This is one of the main reasons why we moved a lot quicker than what we were supposed to, because I was saving up to do something else. But it's like, I got to get out of here. You know what I mean? Because the landlords weren't doing nothing about it. So it's like the cops were there all the time. So it's just constant things going on that my kids was listening to every single night that we just had to get them out because I couldn't physically do something about it. I mean, I wanted to, but you can't, you know.
You did the right thing. You got them up out of that situation. And then as their father, that's what you were supposed to do.
Yeah. That's why it's all situational. You really can't know until you're actually in the situation.
Yeah. Hey.
Sorry, real deal.
So let me ask a question. Let me turn the tables around a little bit. So what happens if you find out that your son, your full-grown son, is beating his wife on a daily basis?
I'm beating the motherfucking fuck out of him. Excuse my language, Billy. I am whooping that ass.
I'm not gonna catch some hands real good. I'll find that out. He gonna have to. I'm his father. You wanna know something? I have every right to beat his ass for dumb shit. That's how I see it. People may say that I'm wrong. That's how I see it. I have every right. You up here hurting somebody and doing something stupid, you got every right to handle you. It's matter of fact, it's my responsibility to handle you. Because I brought you into this. It's my responsibility to deal with you. Just because you're grown and you married or you off somewhere beating up on some woman. No. Don't let dad find out. Because I'm going to have to do you dirty. And you're going to deserve it.
Just like if you found out your kid was a serial killer or some shit like that. It's your responsibility to take care of it.
Right. It's still
my kids are catching these hands.
Yeah, you what you doing beating up somebody? I didn't, matter of fact, I ain't raised you that way.
Male, female, all of them. And everybody gonna get it, not just that one kid. So everybody else knows not to follow suit. Everybody catching hands.
You gonna be
and I will still fight my way out of something.
Yeah, because that things I understand how kids get grown and they move on, they do stuff like that, but your responsibility, they're always your responsibility, man.
Well,
if they're doing something to hurt somebody and you can stop them from doing it or you gotta address it, I just don't think it's a reason why you shouldn't. He grown, but you still my son. You came from me. That does not change. My father called me and say something to me and tell me to do something. You might well think I'm 5 years old. At this age now, because that's the respect that I have for him. So you out here doing something stupid, you my son, you out here being dumb, you're going to have to catch the consequences of that from me. Because I ain't going to have you out here being a dumbass.
I agree. I believe if I'm the father, I'm still the head of the house, of the family, until I die or I pass that on before I die.
I agree.
So I totally agree with what you said, Zach.
What if your son's a Golden Gloves champion?
What if your son whooped your ass? Hey, what if you was domestic violencing? I don't even know what if you was beating up on somebody and your own kid? Now, I don't want to put my dirty laundry out there, but I had to get involved. As a kid, I was maybe 12 or 13 years old, and I had to get between my parents. And my dad is about Debo size.
Yeah, your dad's big.
And I got in there. I had to. I wasn't having no other.
That's now see you move to another thing. That's a son's responsibility to their mama.
Yeah.
It moves into all these. None of this stuff is cut and dry. But that's the son's responsibility.
No black and white.
Yeah, it's no black and white. That's the son's responsibility. If I saw my dad beating on my mother, we'd have to catch it. He never was that type of man. He never did stuff like that. But if I saw it, me and my brothers would have to handle that. We just would.
Yeah.
That's why this.
You taught me to be an honorable type dude. If I didn't do something about it, then I'm not doing what he taught me.
Now roles reversed though. What are we supposed to do as young dudes? We see our mama beating on our dad.
Say,
What are we
mom,
supposed to do?
Mom, you
See,
stop
walk by
being-
your dad and say, grow some balls.
No,
You tell them no.
you can't do that. But it's your responsibility to be like, yeah, moms, you can't be doing that. You'll get some women who'll listen, but you'll get some women who just won't. They'll be like, listen, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. But then my thing is, listen, you keep doing that. When dad jump up and whoop your ass, don't call me. But I'm trying to tell you, stop. You're not a man. Stop doing that. It's just, I mean, it's like I said, each situation is different. There's no black and white. There's nuances everywhere.
But there's one guaranteed thing in every situation. Whatever you decide to do, you're going to have to deal with the consequences that come with your actions.
Facts. That's a fact.
Hear what real deal said? It's always consequences. To
That's
whatever
the
reason.
thing. There's always there's consequences to everything, and you have to be willing if you're going to deal with them or not. That's all it is. You got to be willing if you're going to deal with those consequences.
That's the slogan in this house all last week and this week.
Consequences.
Consequences.
There's consequences. Not sleeping in it.
100 times a day. There's consequences for every reaction.
It's true. It's just, there's nothing wrong with that. You learn your boundaries. You learn what you are supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do.
Because my boundaries be, baby, come on, just be nice.
Well, yeah, it's Cooler Game playing in the background.
I know, right? Yep. But either way, man, listen, folks. Hopefully, at least one person walks away with something interesting to reflect on, or something that they learned, or something that felt that gave you some good agreements on your life. Man, this was too serious. Next week, I gotta do some bullshit because it's too serious.
It wasn't serious.
It's good. It's necessary.
It's just, it's a necessary conversation. Like they said, it could be somebody in this chat, male or female, that's going through it or has been through it and just needed to hear or just know that you have somebody in your corner.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate everybody for coming out, hanging out with us on this holiday where most of us would be hanging out with friends, family, and thinking about the folks that served in the military for us to have the freedoms that we do. So shout out to them. Happy Memorial Day. You guys all enjoy it. Be safe. Have fun. Regardless of what you go through, somebody's a phone call away. And just in case you can't get them, on the phone or whatever, good old ghetto is always a circle away.
There you go. There you go.
See y'all later.
Where he's always lending a hand.